Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social and Association with Empire Fight Store Forge, Irish Stout.
Spencer, look, I appreciate you giving us some of your time. You're always very generous with it. Before we start this interview, how's things with you? How's things going?
Everything is really, really good. Everything is blessed for me, the family, kids. I mean, it's a fantastic time to be alive right now because we are actually seeing a massive paradigm shift in the way people are thinking. People are thinking more positive. People are thinking more vibrant. It's a good, people are being more uplifting, even though mental health is up on the rise. But I think it's great that so many people are actually using their platform to speak about mental health, that they're going through things, which will encourage other people to go out and speak about their things as well. So because of that, then I'm in a good place, mate. I'm in a good place, my friend.
That's such a good way to start this. Yeah, we have seen this. I think we've seen this shift over the last couple of years. Like, so obviously Tyson Fury come out and speak about it. And other athletes have been more open about saying, look, mental health's important. Look, I've been through it, etc. How important is that before we talk about boxing, that we do have these people who are in the limelight come out and share their stories to give like hope to other people?
You know what? I think it's really cool. I think there was a speech that was given by a person called Carter Goodwin Woodson, and if you guys don't know him, go and Google him. Right, Carter Godwin Woodson, and he said, like, if you can control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions. When you can determine what a man shall think, you do not need to concern yourself about what he will do. If you can make a man feel that he's inferior, you do not have to compel him to accept an inferior status, for he will seek it for himself. And if you make a man think that he's justly an outcast, you do not have to order him to the back door, for he will do that without even being told. And if there is no back door, his very nature will demand one. So it's all about your thinking. I'm sorry to keep on going on, but I'm in a different space of my life, right? You always have to control your thinking, because your thoughts become things, right? And your thinking becomes reality. So I would say to people, before anything, right, control your thinking, right? And it's so easy just to split out something negative, not knowing, we don't know what people are going through, especially people that are in the limelight. We don't know what they're going through, right? But then on the same essence, we don't know what the ordinary people are going through, like on your day-to-day when you're out on the street. Like, it's a natural thing now. It's like it's kind of ingrained in us, especially in the UK. Like, we say, oh, you all right, mate? But we don't really mean it. We just say, are you all right? You know what I mean? We're not trying to delve into the fact of, are we saying, are you all right? Someone being all right, not only is it a mental thing, but it's also a physical thing. So these are the things, and I'm sorry to keep on going on, Matt, right? Because I know you want to talk about boxing, but I'm just at a part of my life now. You know what I mean? I'm at a part of my life now where it is all about being thankful, because the more gratitude that you express is the more abundance that you experience. It's important. It's important to say thank you, right? I want people to realize this. One of the most, if not the most underrated blessing that we have as human beings, right, is that your name was on the list to wake up in the morning. 100%. Just think about it. It's serious. It's deep, right? So if you've woken up this morning, there is nothing else that you can't do. Go and do it.
Well, I think that is a refreshing and a very good way to start an interview, because, talking about mindsets and how people deal with their own thoughts, I think it's a good way, because obviously it's everyday life. It's not just boxing. Everyone deals with stuff. So great way to start the interview, Spencer. I think that's some good positive words for today and Friday. I do want to move on to the boxing, obviously, because it's where, your expertise lies. And, well, this weekend we're going to see a historic rematch. Katie Taylor returns to Dublin against the girl who took her undefeated record in Chantelle Cameron. What do you make of this rematch? It was a good fight the last time out. Chantelle's coming into this full of confidence, and Katie with something to prove, which is to see. What do you make of it?
Do you know what? I'm glad that there was a rematch, but I think the same thing is going to happen again. And that's just me being honest. And you know, it's not just if you see Chantelle Cameron, you ever looked at her body type? Her body type, she's got very thick legs, you know. She's got amazingly right. She seriously, she got very thick legs. She's, you know what I mean, she's a curvy, she's very curvy. And when you are that kind of way, she sets herself perfectly to throw her shots. And props have to be given not only to Jamie Moore, but also to Nigel Travis, right? I've known Nigel Travis since we've been teenagers, all right? And like, he don't really get the props that he should be getting, mainly because he doesn't really want the props. But I'm propsing Nigel Travis. I think he's a bloody good trainer. But the thing why I like about him is like, he don't have to be all up in the cameras and yeah, look at me and screaming out. He's not that guy. He's very concise. And Jamie Moore is another person who is that way inclined, where Jamie don't need to scream from the rafters. He's been through a lot right throughout his life, but he's accomplished a lot when he's a professional fighter. You know what I mean? There was a time when Jamie Moore was fighting, and I was talking like, if we go back to like 2003, that's 20 years ago now, right? When Jamie Moore was on the verge of fighting for world titles, but he never got the opportunity, and he lingered around too long, and then things went wrong, and you know, because he plateaued at being where he was at. Where if they put him in with higher class people, then I think you really, and you know what I mean, I like the fact that also Jamie gives a lot of homage to his trainer, who he's stuck with. Here we go. Everyone's trying to phone me now, right? Who he's stuck with in Oliver Harrison, God rest his soul in paradise. So he comes from a lineage. He comes from it. Travis comes from it because Travis's dad was heavily involved in professional boxing as well. So where they've got that link, I just think right now, and that is all being fueled and put on the head of Chantelle Cameron. Chantelle Cameron is really, she can fight, man. Let's just call it as it is. Chantelle, she can fight. She really can fight. And I think Katie Taylor has been fantastic and been excellent for boxing. I almost call it like women's boxing, for boxing. Let's not divide the two through the sexes. Boxing. So I don't sit, and the nicest thing is that we're sitting down looking at, well, are you watching a fight tomorrow? No one's saying, no, I'm watching women's boxing. No, are you going to watch the fight? Yeah. And that is the most beautiful thing. But I just think that Chantelle Cameron is a little bit too fresh, a little bit too feisty, and strong as well. And because of that, then like, I would say that she's gonna better Katie Taylor again tomorrow. And it's not a fact that, oh, I want Katie Taylor to lose. No, I love Katie Taylor. I think she's been a fantastic ambassador for boxing. And I have to say women's boxing for this one is fun. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it. She's been fantastic for women's boxing because she's brought a lot of eyes on the game, and her skill set when she was at the top, if you go back like 3 or 4 years ago, never level. You know what I mean? Never level.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's a fair point, obviously. And like, I know you're saying that from a place of just analysing a fight and who you think, you know, look, and we all acknowledge Katie is literally, if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't start seeing this rise in women's boxing. I think people like herself, obviously Clarissa Shields, we look at Amanda Serrano's, these type of girls who have been on the grind, they've opened up.
Yeah, exactly. I can't even say these type of girls. I would say these type of women. Yeah. You know what I mean? Women. And we have to encapsulate how powerful women are. You know what I mean? It is the female that is the mother of God. The female. I want you to realize how powerful the woman is, meaning the womb, which creates life. The womb man, like the creator of life, is the female. And the female is the closest thing that we have to a higher being because she creates out of darkness. And whether you want to believe in the Big Bang Theory of evolution or you want to believe in the higher being or the creator of God, Allah, whatever, right? it's the woman that is the key in all things. The woman's the first teacher of the child. You know what I mean? You understand? We get our sexuality from the X and the Y chromosome, but the dominant in the X and the Y chromosome is the X chromosome, which is the female. And when you look at that for science, the woman's powerful. Do you know what I mean? And when you elevate the woman, you elevate a nation.
Well, when we talk about Katie Taylor, she's definitely done that and in abundance. So there's another fight this weekend. When I get your thoughts on Benavidez Andrade. Andrade finally gets that chance at a very big fight, which can obviously propel him. And Benavidez, people who are wanting him to fight Canelo, it's a terrific fight that the PBC are putting on. As being the analysis you are, talk to me about this fight. A great clash of styles. Mixture of personalities, a good fight, especially for the boxing purists. What you make of it?
It's a hard fight for both guys.
Yeah.
It is a hard fight for both guys. But the thing is this, right? Benavidez is a very good fighter, right? And for his size, I don't know how he gets to throw so many combinations. He's a constant pressure fighter that isn't really a pressure fighter because he's tall. And if you look on Andrade, there's been times where I've said, you didn't look like boo-boo to me, you look like doo-doo to me, because there's times where he's so comfortable in his own skin that, you know, he'll score a knockdown against the guy and he'll just say, okay, I'll just throw punches and coast and all the rest of it. You can't afford to do that tomorrow night. You can't. So it's a very, very intriguing fight. But there's something about Benavidez because he's younger and he's fresher. And maybe it's been a time where you've been waiting so long, Andrade's been waiting so long to get his opportunity at a big fight. And now it's finally arrived. And maybe now maybe it's come too late. But if it was the Andrade of old, then I would slightly be favoring him in this fight. But I'm not sure what he's actually got left.
It's going to be interesting just because, obviously, with all the talk around PBC, and we know that Canelo's got a 3-fight deal, so whoever wins this fight, they'll be looking to...
He's going to fight Canelo. Yeah.
Canelo fight. And with Demetrius Andrade, obviously, they've got that narrative of that press conference moment where Canelo's telling him, look, you are a horrible fighter, and he could end up fighting him. Then you've got Benavidez, who... For some reason, people are saying, oh, Canelo's avoiding Benavidez. Canelo's resume is second to none throughout boxing. But they're saying, oh, this is the fight we want. He's avoiding him. As a fan, would you want to see him against Benavidez next? Or would you be happy with either of these, Canelo?
I'd be happy. Listen to me. Boxing's one, all right? And especially if you're a purist of the game, you know, you could see by the press conference yesterday, I don't know if you watched the press conference yesterday, the press conference, you could actually see Andrade just being so happy just to be there. You could see like, right, and I'm going to show you something. And because he's thinking like that, I don't know who's going to win the fight, you know?
That's good. That's good.
Right. It is, right? So if I'm saying like I'm siding with this one, it's mainly because I would have more of an emotional attachment to him. But the thing is this, my emotional attachment is split because I like both guys' style of fighting. I kind of prefer Benavidez a little bit more when it comes to style of fighting than because certain times Andrade he's kind of switched off. You know what I mean? He did it in the Leon Williams fight. He kind of like, all right, well, I've got it. Yeah, I've got it in the bag now. So yeah. And you can't afford to do that tomorrow night. So me looking at that now, I'm saying I know how good Andrade is. Because I remember when it was at Sean Porter had him in for sparring when Sean Porter was getting ready to fight Devin Alexander for the IBF welterweight title. I remember Ashley Fearfane was in the gym. He's saying, nah, he's a good fighter. You know, he was giving that work. He was giving that work. But when you think about it, that's a decade ago.
It's crazy. Time's flying.
Right.
Flying to say that's a decade.
Yeah, it is. That's why we got to appreciate what we got and when we're here. So we look on him and we know just how good Andrade is. Now you've got make sure that you have a chance you're fighting where you've been so studiously avoided by all the big names, right? Now you have an opportunity to say, well, I'm going to get this win, but I'm showing you why I was studiously avoided. And I mean, it's going to be a great fight. Great fight. Really? So I'm in the balance. I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm looking forward to it. I think as boxing purists, obviously, it's one for the fans who know about both.
I'll tell you what, I'm slightly going for Benavidez. But you phone me that hour, I'm going to change, all right?
All right. One thing I want to touch on, Shakur Stevenson. So, gets the victory on the night, received in many quarters a lot of criticism for style of performance.
And quite rightly so. Rightly so.
But previous fights, obviously, he's dealt with the likes of an Oscar Valdez handedly, and another good world level fighters. But for that, he said at the end, obviously, didn't feel great, didn't feel myself, but I got the job done. Do you remember? We will do, because I know you remember. But Floyd Mayweather, Carlos Baldomir. I believe Floyd had a problem with the hand, and he coasted his way through the fight. Fans were booing. Larry Merchant, I remember, giving him a hard time, and he said, look, I got the victory done, I think, under any circumstances. So all you can do is respect me for that. I'm not saying
it's different though. It's different. It's totally different. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying with Floyd, and I can see in the background there, you've got Floyd on your wall. So know that you're a big Floyd Mayweather fan, right?
Floyd, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, you got seriously. I ain't got no pictures on man on my wall. I swear that.
So it's really a little bit somewhere. I've got.
Yeah, you got pictures of Floyd on your. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Yeah, you got a nice. I don't know. You got a nice bedroom there, so it's proper, right? So I'm saying, I remember the Baldomir fight, and I remember at the time, the late great Emmanuel Stewart saying like, Floyd wouldn't be able to fight someone like a Tommy Hearns or someone like a Sugar Ray Leonard because those guys are too big and they punch too hard for him. I remember that. That's always stuck in my head. And I think when we look at Shakur on the weekend, Shakur came on The Fight Is Right on Sunday. So on Sunday he came on The Fight with me and Tundi, and I know, because I know his manager very well, Jay Prince. I know that he was injured going into that fight. He was badly injured going into that fight. And the doctor said, well, you got to pull out. And he was saying, well, it's my opportunity to pick up my third world title. I'm going to go and take it. What I am going to say is that his opponent, Cruz, right?
Yeah.
Can punch. Mm-hmm. Right? And you ain't at 100%. So you can't keep him off. You can't be throwing like just right jabs, and your backhand of your left hand power shot it's no longer there. It's not, and you can't really throw the right hook because you're a southpaw, because you're gonna need the balancer to throw your left hand first to bring you over, so you can come back with your right hook. So you could see like the right hook was non-existent in that fight, and he was thinking, I'm just gonna win boring just to get out of the way. But here is the difference. Floyd Mayweather is allowed in Carlos Baldomir to go and win boring, because after that fight, he had a really good fight with Zab Judah.
Yes, he did.
Right? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Now, but Floyd could afford to do that. The reason being is because we also knew that wasn't Floyd Mayweather's real weight. Well, him being at 147, that wasn't his real weight.
Nah.
Right? Yeah. Right. That's number one. If we're trying to make that as a comparison. Also, we got to look at the fact that Shakur Stevenson, even though he's a freeweight world champion, he never beat a champion to become a champion. He always won vacant crowns. Okay. And then he had that unification match, right? So unfortunately for him, and that's not no slant on him, because I still think he's a superb boxer. Yeah. He's a superb boxer, right? And I think every now and then you could get, I haven't watched the fight in its entirety. I've watched all clips, and I thought that's enough. I know the result. But I am saying, which I heard from his manager, that he was injured. His manager, Jay Prince. He was injured for that fight.
Yeah.
Should have pulled out. But you know what? I'm glad that you didn't pull out. You know what I mean? I'm glad you didn't pull out. And at the end of the day, you're 26 and you're a free weight world champion. How many people could turn around and say they got that on their resume?
Exactly.
right? And also for all those people who are being so
disrespectful,
so critical about his performance, right? Which I get to an extent why you're criticizing. So critical about his performance. And he was actually down. When he came on The Fight Is Right, it's by chance. I just sent him a message and he phoned me back and I said, right, I'm doing a show right now. He's just stayed with there. And I said, like, anyone being overly critical, the day that you can show me how to demonstrate a left jab correctly, then maybe, just maybe, I'll listen to what you got to say about this young man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From the time I know that if you're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go run and then to leave from there to go hit the gym, right? And then go do your weight session, then come back home and then repeat that. If you're doing that, then maybe you could be in some element to say you want to criticize this young man. This young man was an Olympian, he's a freeweight world champion, and he's done it all by the age of 26.
Incredible achievement.
Right. Exactly. It's a massive achievement. But you know what? People were sitting down just waiting for this to say, right, because he is so good, we're thinking, well, you're going to handle this guy with one hand. Don't worry about it. You can handle him one because he is that good.
Mm-hmm.
So things didn't go his way. And everyone's jumping on the back of him and criticizing him and throwing dirt on him. But I always say this, and I want Shakur Stevenson to listen to this on this one, right? Because after I come off here, I shall be ripping this, right? Shakur Stevenson's got to realize when people are throwing dirt on you, you're either going to be buried or planted. And I believe that what happened there for him was him being planted because he said to me and Tundi on The Fight Is Right, he said, all right, well, go watch and see my next fight. So you got that bit between his teeth that, all right, I'm going out to go give. And he does this all the time. I'm like, who's the guy? Acapulco. Who's the guy that he beat? He beat some African guy and people were kind of complaining about the win. And he was like, all right, now watch my next fight. And he came and he performed amiably his next fight. People too critical. You know what I mean? At least this young man's gone out and taken the challenges, right? And he's created something. And he's created history. And he's going to continue to do it. I really do rate him as a fighter.
I was going to say, and just on that as well, I think boxing's almost like your last performances, they seem to, in people's opinions, and I mean, I know why his rivals will throw dirt. I get that. That's part of the game. You're going to get your Devin Haney's come out and say, I should have offered him even less than that. I get that. But when you look at performances, like the Oscar Valdez one where it was like, oh, it's a great fight, dominated, and he was getting praised left, right, and centre, and it's like, one night, and all this.
And Oscar Valdez is no joke.
No, he's a good fighter. Like
Oscar Valdez is no joke.
So
it happens. You know what? In boxing, you're damned if you do them. But I ain't gonna lie. It was a boring fight, right? It was a boring fight.
I think he knows
but
that.
No, listen to me. You want to talk about boring fights? Johnny Nelson is actually a multi-millionaire. Do you know that?
Yeah.
You know that Johnny Nelson's a multi-millionaire?
No, I'm not one to count his pocket, but I imagine...
I'm telling you now, Johnny Nelson is a multi-millionaire because when he fought Carlos de Leon in, I think it was March of 1990, that was the world's most boringest fight, and Johnny Nelson found the cure for insomnia, right? Because you can't sleep, you just put that fight on, and he's patented it as well. In fact, Johnny Nelson's a billionaire. Listen, but what? So wait a minute. But Johnny Nelson still went on to beat Carl Thompson and hold a world championship for 7.5 years, Britain's second longest reigning world champion in history, right? So it's all right throwing dirt, and Johnny Nelson at the time was only 23, they threw dirt on Johnny Nelson hard. But what happens is this, when you go through these rough, you're either going to be these people who are going to get these criticism and you're going to make that define you, or you're going to get that criticism and you're really going to make that define you because you're going to come back and show the whole world that you're bigger and better than that. Johnny Nelson did that, and I'm certain that Shakur Stevenson will do that.
Well, let's see. I'm always looking forward to seeing Shakur perform. Look, let me talk to me a little bit about Jaron Ennis. Terence Crawford obviously alleviated of the belt. Jaron's now been given that, full champion status. What do you make of that? We hear that the Ben's rematch will happen. We don't know what weight, but it's gone a bit quiet. What do you make of Jaron being given the status now? Because everyone I speak to in boxing, when they talk about this guy, is like, he's the next like one.
He is. He's the next one. He's the next generation. You got to think. Bud Crawford's, what's Bud now? 36?
Yeah, 35, 36. And Spence,
Right,
330.
right. So, Jaron Ennis, Boots, who's been on the show a lot of times, so I got to hail up Boots. He's been on the Fight Right quite a few times. And his dad, Bosey, like, he's the next generation. Mm-hmm. Do I think it's fair that they've stripped him of the IBF title? No, I don't. Reason why? Because he went out and he beat everybody, right? And he beat the man that beat everyone. So therefore, you took his scalp, right? And he took it in such an impressive fashion. End of the day, what we saw, what we saw with Terence Bud Crawford was him solidifying his claim. Yeah, undoubtedly as the best pound for pound fighter in the world, right? That's what he did. So I think it's kind of silly for the IBF to strip him. Why would you want to be aligned with the best fighter who's going to bring the most money in and you all charge sanctioning fees? That to me don't make no sense at all.
Straight away as well. Like you'd think it'd be at least another fight before you've got to say now you fight with Jaron.
Right.
We'll have to move on.
But I don't like that. I don't appreciate it. I like when titles have been won in the ring. Mm-hmm. Right? The only time where like I could turn around and say, I'm gonna give such and such a squeeze was like, what was that? Lennox Lewis in 92 was given the vacant WBC crown because Riddick Bowe actually threw that in the bin. So he was given a world crown, right? But we gave Lennox Lewis a squeeze for him to say that he was validated to be a world champion because he just knocked out Razor Ruddock on October the 31st. So we say, what? You banged that Razor Ruddock who gave Mike Tyson those hard fights? Mike Tyson was just in jail. Evander Holyfield was a world champion, but everyone was saying Razor Ruddock was the best heavyweight in the world, and Lennox Lewis blapsed him. So that's the only time that we can sail around and give somebody a squeeze on that. I have a time where someone is just being given a vacant crown, but we give him a kind of squeeze was Ken Norton, because we all know that Ken Norton got robbed in Yankee Stadium when he fought Muhammad Ali in 1976. So, so he got given a crown. But apart from that, nah, I don't like that. I like when you go in there because realistically, let's be real, Jaron Ennis isn't seen as the best fighter in the world at his weight class. Mm-hmm. Terence Crawford is seen as the best fighter in his weight class and also the best fighter pound for pound. So I think it's a bit of a stupid move, but I understand how it is and politics and politricks, and it will still go on.
Do you think that Jaron Ennis, this has to be his year where he starts adding name to resume now? Is this his year now with that belt, obviously?
1,000,000%. But don't get twisted. He's a bad boy. He's bad. He's bad, right? He's an incredible fighter. He's very skilled. He's very gifted. And one thing, and he works. Humble kid as well. You're like, he's the next generation, right? He's the next generation. I saw Conor Benn call him out, right? And I rate that Conor Benn's relishing a challenge. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you this now, and I'm being real. Conor Benn, leave that brother alone for now. I'm telling you that. Leave him alone.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. He's one of them who I've seen for a long time, and I just need to see them names now. I just want to see these big fights for you because 28, 29, I think he is years of age. I think, and it's like he's all the ability in the world, and we want to see it. But look, Spence, I really appreciate you giving us some of your time today. As always, we could talk to you for hours. But I know you've
come on, man. No doubt I'll see you out in Saudi Arabia.
You will do December 23rd.
Okay. I'm so looking forward to that. So I'll see you out there. You know the rules. Massive big up to Gold Star and Spencer Brown. Those guys are the real hookup. But more so, Turkey Al Sheikh, who, and the Al Sheikh, is that of stature, but he's actually shaking up things in boxing, and that's beautiful. Where we could see, and this is what people are, where you could see promoters sat down together, like, here's the bag, don't talk, and everybody's following it. And we have to say a massive big up to George Warren, right? Because Spencer Brown was the person that orchestrated everything, but the guys maneuvering and interwoven in all this is George Warren, so we got to big him up. So it's nice to see Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren at the same table, sat down. That's really cool. Nice to see Demetrius Salida there as well. Nice to see Shelly Finkel there. But it's like, it's nice for me as a Muslim, and this is a prayer mark. It's nice for me as a Muslim that all of this is going to Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? That is a beautiful thing to me, right? All of that's going to Saudi Arabia. So this is actually promoting the Deen of Islam in a beautiful light. So Saudi Arabia is getting the light on it, but in a good way. And just like many of the people who went to the World Cup, who was out at the World Cup, realized the hospitality that they received when it was out there, and it wasn't fake, it was real. Yeah. It's nice because they are promoting the country in a positive light. So for those things, I'm there. How did you find it when you was out in Saudi?
I've been twice, and I'll tell anyone, like, second to none. Really.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
Incredible. Like,
right. Okay. So you know what I mean, all I got to do is give you more dawah now and bring you down the mosque a couple of times. You never know. You know what I mean, you got a nice beard on you. I can say assalamu alaikum to you. I'm joking, bro. But it's cool.
I appreciate it, Spence. Well, look, have a blessed day. I appreciate you jumping on, and we'll catch up soon. If not, 23rd December, Saudi Arabia. We will catch up, my friend.
We're there. Take care. God bless, bro.
Appreciate you.